Hey there, folks. Today I am excited to share my verdict on the Patagonia R1 Air Full Zip Hoodie. This is an item of clothing I've talked about in a few other videos about how I haven't gotten my hands on it yet, and now I have. I have the R1 Crew and the Full Zip Hoodie, and I've spent some time in each. This is going to be kind of like an initial review because I haven't had them for very long, but I have been able to test them out in a variety of instances. This is a lightweight and highly breathable fleece, and I want to tell you why it's become one of my favorite fleeces overall as far as mid layers go. Before this one, I really loved and I still do love the half zip R1 hoodie from a few years back. I have one from I think 2020 and 2016. Really love those, as well as the full zip R3 hoodie, which I'm going to do a direct comparison video with the R1 Air here in a little bit, because I think they are very comparable to each other. And in that video, I'll tell you which one I like best, but you'll have to stay tuned for that. And the other mid-layer that I use quite often is the Nano Air Light Hoodie, which is now discontinued, and you can see a review of that up on my channel. So that kind of fits in. The R1 Air slots in as the lightest of those four. So one of the reasons I really, really love this fleece is that the hoodie doesn't just keep you warm. It's designed to wick away any sweat and moisture efficiently, just like the rest of the R1 Air, making it really great for high exertion, cool weather activities. Now you might be thinking to yourself, it's only September, how many cool weather activities am I able to do? To be honest with you, not a lot, but we have started getting snow up in the mountains here in Colorado, and that's where I've tested it. So I'm really looking forward to testing it this winter down in the Front Range when it's cold out, but maybe sunny, and I just need that extra layer. Let's dive into the details for this R1 Air. All right, so let's start off with the reasons to buy. I'd say that first and foremost, the R1 Air hoodie it's an incredibly comfortable piece of clothing. It's got a hollow core fiber and zigzag pattern, which makes it stand out from the R1 and the R3 of old. It also stands out from a lot of other garments, outdoor garments, with that zigzag pattern. It also feels a little less stretchy than some other fleece products, but I haven't found that to be too much of an issue because of how soft and comfortable the hoodie is. The textured fleece includes thin polyester bands to minimize fraying, which is always good, and rubbing, so no chafing so far, and it's just been a great hoodie to wear. But where the R1 Air truly shines, and you may get this from the name itself, is in breathability. Thanks to that zigzag pattern, it allows for airflow through the fabric really easily, making it one of the most breathable options out there. And it is ideal for the time where you're pushing yourself to the limit during those outdoor adventures, which is honestly anytime I'm running or even hiking up a mountain, I'm going to be exerting myself. I tend to run fairly hot, which means even the R1 is something that I only throw on when I am going somewhere where it's incredibly cold. So I'm really looking forward this winter to using the R1 Air a little bit more than I get to use my R1. I prefer hoods when it comes to everything. I rarely buy a jacket without a hood. Sometimes they can get in the way when you're wearing like 3, 4, 5 different layers that each have hoods. But I just prefer having a hood to not having a hood. This hood is really well designed, I think. It provides that extra dimension of warmth. It's snug, it stays put. You can throw it underneath a helmet, no problem. And it even offers some pretty decent neck protection. The overall hoodie is pretty slim fit, but despite that, it does a pretty excellent job of trapping body heat, keeping you warm during those colder temperatures. Now, reasons to maybe avoid the R1 Air. So this hoodie is not cheap. I got it 10% off, but MSRP is $180. Luckily, I had a gift card. I don't normally buy new garments like this, but I haven't had an R1 Air yet. I've been really looking forward to one. Plus, I have to talk about this color. I love teal and purple. As I have said many times, I have many garments that are teal and purple, and they came out with like this dark plum, dark teal combo this year that just screamed yes to me. So I had to go, I had the gift card, had the 10% off code, decided to use it. The hoodie does not have thumb loops like some of my R1s, which means that the sleeves ride up a bit when you're putting on another layer over it. Secondly, the hood can be a bit challenging to put up and pull down when the jacket's fully zipped, and there's no zipper guard. So in cold weather, you're going to have direct contact between your lips and the cold metal zipper, which is never good. So that's reasons to avoid it outside of that high price point. Performance-wise, the R1 Air Hoodie offers a pretty perfect balance of warmth for cooler weather activities, like I was saying, like bouldering, scrambling, hiking. For me, it so far has been a little bit too much as far as running goes. I haven't needed anything that warm. I tend to run warm, like I said, but it does provide the warmth of a nice mid-layer piece, and it's super lightweight. I do also like that the hood, which is pretty snug, adds that extra layer of warmth, especially around my ears. My ears tend to get cold, so if I don't want to be wearing a beanie, I can always just throw the hood on underneath the helmet if I'm climbing or if I'm biking. Because it's so slim, it's really got this really streamlined design, and it is a great choice for layering. I was a little worried. They don't sell the half zip hoodie in the R1 Air. They only sell that in the R1. So I was worried that that full zip was going to feel a bit bulky. I had the R1 Tech Face, and that was a full zip, and that one felt so bulky to me compared to the regular R1 half zip. So I was worried about that. That was not the case at all. The R1 Air is so streamlined. It's so perfect. It comfortably fits under any of my shells or heavier jackets, which makes sure I'm cozy in those colder conditions. And while it doesn't have those thumb holes, the slim fit does allow you to layer a base layer underneath without any major issues. And you just have to keep an eye on it when you're putting on other layers as far as riding up. Another reason why they call it the R1 Air is its weight. It is a standout in the category for weight. So mine weighs in at just 12.8 ounces, meaning it's one of the lightest jackets that you'll find, which despite that lightness, it still offers that impressive warmth relative to its packability. Patagonia describes it as having minimalistic features. I feel like that's just a buzzword these days. I see a ton of jackets that are described as minimalistic, and while there aren't any like pulls or anything like that on the hood or the hem, it still does have two hand warmer pockets and a chest pocket. So when I hear minimalistic, I think of something like the Houdini, where it only has this tiny chest pocket. And I think the Houdini only has that mostly to be able to stuff into its own pocket. So while it's described as minimalistic, I think that it still has quite a few nice features that other mid layers have. With those features, it makes it a top choice for those who are prioritizing both weight and usability in their outdoor gear. I think that the Patagonia R1 Air Zip hoodie is a phenomenal all-around mid-layer fleece. It's versatile enough to accompany you on climbing adventures, hikes, and it's stylish enough that you could just wear it out with friends. I hear that a lot where it's like, oh, it fits in at the brewery. I live in Colorado, so if you showed up to a brewery with your full rack of climbing gear attached to your hip, it wouldn't stand out. So while, yeah, you could wear it when hanging out with friends, I think you could pretty much wear anything while hanging out with friends, which means that the R1 Air fits into that category. Another thing I love about it is its durability. So far, the first time I put it on, I was a little worried that it would pill like crazy. And while this one is a new one, I do have the R1 Crew that I snagged from someone who had it for over a year. There's no pilling in the R1 Crew, and it seems like it's a really reliable choice for heading up into the mountains so far. Once I have it for a little bit longer, I can update and see how it is held up. I tend to rough up my gear pretty good. If it does get too roughed up and there's holes in it, Patagonia's got the ironclad guarantee. Bring it into the store. they will either repair it or replace it for you. And I've had a really good history of them doing that for me, so I'm not really too worried about durability and reliability in the mountains. So who is this for, and should you buy it? I think if you're in the market for a lightweight, breathable fleece that really excels during high exertion activities in cooler weather, so maybe late fall, winter, maybe a milder winter, and then spring, I think the R1 Air Hoody is a great contender. I'm super confident that this jacket is going to stand the test of time and keep me comfortable on my personal outdoor pursuits, but that price tag is up there. But if you can find one used, I grabbed the R1 Air Crew for $40. I think that's an incredible deal. It'll be a little harder to find the full zip with the hood, I think, for a price like that, but it's not impossible. And if you don't care too much about colors, I know that it did go on sale on Patagonia's site recently in some of the older colors, so you could snag one there. Well, that wraps up my review so far. It's an early on review of the Patagonia R1 Air Full Zip Hoodie. If you found this review helpful, please hit the like button down below, subscribe for more gear reviews, and share this video with any of your fellow adventurers. I would really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.